Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence Roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Green. Today I have the good fortune to be joined by Zach Beach from Smart Real Estate Coach. Zach, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Seth. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You are welcome. It is our pleasure. For our folks who don't know you yet, what is Smart Real Estate Coach?
Yeah, so Smart Real Estate Coach is a coaching and consulting company which we partner with people around the country, or we consult with people around the country to help them buy and sell properties in real estate using terms. Terms meaning we're going to teach you how to buy property without using your own cash, credit, or begging other investors to invest in your properties and be able to create what we like to call 3 paydays, which we can certainly talk about that throughout the show.
Absolutely. We're going to dive into all that. But before we, and I've already got a list of questions, before we do that, let's go back in time a little bit. How did you and your family get started in real estate?
Sure. So my father-in-law and brother-in-law did have a company in real estate before I joined. I was actually a bartender and personal trainer coming out of college because I had no idea what I wanted to do. I kind of got run ragged between late nights and early mornings. And so I decided to join the family business, which they've been doing real estate a heck of a lot longer than I have. And, look it up 3 years later, we're doing, hundreds of deals a year around the country, and we're helping out people do the exact same. So that's just my short story, and we can certainly dig a little deeper than that if you'd like to as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So so you talked about the late nights and the early mornings, bartending and personal training. What was it about your in-laws real estate business that attracted you?
I would say it was completely different than what I was doing. That's what attracted me. I was just grinding away, and I just got to a certain point where I was acting like a zombie just from getting worn down, which I'm sure people can relate to. And I just knew that was a better way. I wasn't sure if I was going to love real estate. And this was almost even prior to I started coaching people in real estate. I wasn't even sure if I was going to love real estate, but I just knew it was better than where I was today. And obviously, I mean, when people talk about real estate, there's almost like a facade behind it as well, where you're going to become a millionaire by doing it. But it definitely takes hard work. So I figured let's give it a go.
Awesome. All right. So you decided what did you start doing? How did your career start in the real estate space? Tell us a little bit about, what was like day one like?
Yeah. So I started just making phone calls from my house in between, my hectic schedule of bartending and personal training. I just started out with some basic seller calls. So meaning I had a list of people that had their house either expired from the open market, which means that they weren't able to sell their house traditionally, so expired with the realtor, or somebody that had a for sale by owner listing that was out there. And I was just calling on them, working on my scripts. That's kind of how my career started, was just basic, let's work on scripts, let's get some phone time. And then it just continued to grow from there.
Okay, so you start off prospecting, learning the ropes, cutting your teeth, and then tell me about your first deal.
I don't even know if you want to hear about my first deal. It was a negative 30K right off the bat.
That's especially why I want to hear about it, because let's get that out of the way. And so, yeah, tell us about that. And then we'll transition into how you made the money back.
Yep. Yeah, a great ending to a story too. So I go to buy a property. I really wanted to prove myself. So I found this property. It's in Central Mass. I was talking to a seller. He happens to actually be in a desperate position, which typically that's not who we even buy from. So this guy was selling his property for what he owed. So that's basically all I could get. So what we ended up doing was we bought the property subject to his existing loan, which is one of our techniques, meaning we closed on the house. The mortgage stayed in the seller's name. We took title. So now we own it, but the mortgage stayed in the seller's name. Because how you make money on deals like this are you wait for the principal to pay down on the mortgage, and you wait for the market to creep up. And then when you have the ability to sell it in the future, you then are able to create a spread. So we did that. We placed what we call tenant buyers in the house. So people that are looking to become homeowners, they just need time in order to become mortgage ready. We placed a tenant buyer family in the house. People are, they're definitely a little on the crazy side, but we didn't know at the time. She did a lead test. Unfortunately, we found out that the property was not de-leaded, even though the seller told us it was. And we ended up having to de-lead the property 30 grand later, right off the beginning. We had to pay 30 grand basically, right off the beginning. And then now fast forward, now the house actually has appreciated almost like $90,000. So there's a huge spread there now. That tenant buyer is not buying the house. As I alluded to from the beginning, they're a little on the offside. So we will just put it back on the traditional market and go ahead and sell it, and there'll be a nice spread. Everyone will be happy, and happy story for the seller and happy story for us.
All right, that is awesome. So I'm curious. So if they told you they had de-leaded the house and they didn't, can you recoup the money from them? Couldn't you? Is there any legal way to make them pay for that? Because if they lied on the selling transaction closing documents or something, that's a crime, right? At least in New York, it is.
Yeah. So he just said that he had no knowledge of lead. So he didn't say there's no lead, but really he would have known. He lived in the house for like 10 or 15 years. So he would have known that there was lead in the property, or it wasn't de-leaded. There's a lot of properties up here in in New England, especially in Massachusetts, that have not been de-leaded. We just would have, hindsight would have just stuck a family in there that didn't have kids, that didn't have young kids, because then it doesn't usually matter. Somebody's not going to be eating lead paint.
Right.
But they had young kids, so we went that route. We actually have now changed our documents stating that the seller would be responsible for that. But at the time, it was a $30,000 lesson. And then we went and changed our documents now. And now we could pass along that lead. So just another lesson learned. And again, it'll be profitable on the back end. So good lesson.
Okay. And you are now how many years, several years into this and hundreds of deals later. So what do you like best about what you're doing?
Sure. So we can break that into two pieces. So we still have our buying and selling entity, which we buy homes every month, just our family, but then we help out people do the same thing around the country. I definitely love the coaching side. I love being with people in the trenches and seeing people grow their business. Because we do create deal makers, so people that like to do a deal here and there or one deal every month, but we also create entrepreneurs and people looking to grow a business and scale their business. And that's definitely where I have the most fun, is helping entrepreneurs grow personally and help their businesses grow. So yeah, that'd be the most fun.
That is awesome. So when you talk about doing that, can you give me an example of somebody who you were able to help with that you're really thrilled about their results?
Yeah, so we got an associate, as we call them, so people that we partner with, and we actually go in the trenches with them. I speak with them, once a day if necessary, if not more, especially when we're crafting up deals. We had a associate of ours down in DC. His name is Bill. He's actually an older gentleman. I believe he's like 71 or 72. He got hit pretty hard in the 08 debacle, right? As Chris calls it, the '08 debacle. And he lost pretty much everything. He was in commercial real estate, wanted a way out, wanted to figure out how to get back on the horse, because he's definitely very much a type A guy, and he wants to take on the world. So we were able to help him grow from doing no deals and kind of, I would say, emotionally he wasn't 100% there. Like he didn't have his groove back yet. So now he's done well over 10 deals now that are going to be equating with our 3 paydays, well over $1 million now in the last 18 months. And you can tell like he's fired up, and if anything, it just brought a new light to his life. So
and he's making money too. That helps.
Yeah, that definitely helps. So yeah, that Bill is definitely a great story for us.
All right, and so you're helping people do these deals themselves. You're doing them with that. You're teaching them how to do it. You're different from a lot of other real estate coaches or gurus in the market, because you're literally doing the deals with them. Talk a little bit. You talked about talking to people once a day or even more. Talk about a little bit about how that works.
Sure. So just to capitalize on that, we noticed there was a huge gap in the market. There's people out there selling products, and then there's compared to people doing deals. So people are selling products, and then nobody's doing deals. So we wanted to fill in that gap. We wanted to fill in that bridge. And how we did that is we create our associate level programs. Meaning, so it's consulting, but it's like on steroids. You're going to get at least your one call every single week with us. But as we continue to grow with you and help you do deals, we could be doing a number of different things. We could be calling on the sellers with you and help you on the front end. As soon as you have properties, we have like my brother-in-law who helps you sell them on the back end. Chris and myself, helping you build the business. So we have a family team that is completely hands-on in the trenches, whatever you need. Which will allow you to grow, because obviously when you start to do a program, when you start going through a program, the difference with people that are successful and aren't successful are those who implement the program and the steps. And what we found is, a lot more people need hand-holding, but not only hand-holding for consulting, but need someone to model after. And especially if we can be in the trenches and have our finger on the pulse inside your business, we can help you make adjustments a heck of a lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. That's obviously a huge differentiator that I know at some levels you have programs where you will literally like fly out and go with the people in their hometown, which is absolutely, I don't know anybody else who does that. So that obviously provides a huge service and a much more, I don't want to use the term guarantee, but a much more improved percentage chance of positive results if you're literally sitting next to them, making sure they don't screw it up.
Yeah. Yep. And the higher levels, we do fly out to them, and then all of our levels are able to fly out to our office. That way you can see what goes on inside our trenches, which isn't too complicated. There's no magic button here. We're still doing the same like 4 or 5 motions over and over and over again to create the results that we want. So yeah, it's really cool programs.
All right. That is terrific. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see people making when they're trying to create like a secondary stream of income investing in real estate?
Yeah, definitely the number one mistake is people not actually taking it seriously. It's okay. They're just kind of winging it. Like I get that if you're trying to build a side business, which is great. And I would say about 90% of our associates and students around the country are doing that exact same thing. And maybe eventually they can hop on and become a full-time real estate investor. But it's taking it seriously. You need to still allocate certain times. You need to make sure that you're placing this into your calendar to make sure you're accomplishing your goals. So it's not just like when I get to it. You still need to make sure that you're setting some time aside and you're actually following the same steps that you would if you were trying to make this a full-time business. Just at a scaled down version. So if you want to, get these deals done, then you still need to implement, your money making activities, maybe just at a scaled down version. And then second is expectations. This is definitely not a get rich quick money making, business. You have to, it takes time. And I believe it's Stefan Artemis said on our podcast was, this isn't a get rich quick. This is a get rich permanent business. So just to make sure, so just it's expectations. If you're building this on the side, you still have to take the time in order to learn the true skills in order to make this business profitable. So with that being said, if you're building on the side, then it may be 6 months before you get your first deal done. This isn't going to happen in like maybe the first 90 days if you're only investing an hour a week to this business. So definitely expectations, and also making sure that you actually treat this as a business.
Absolutely. And I think those are very important things for people to consider. So talk a little bit about are there certain types of people you see have success over and over and over again?
Yeah, I would say the most successful people tend to be those with definitely an entrepreneur mindset, maybe have built another business before or have a successful business going on now. Or somebody that is coming out of like a structured environment, because like I said, you got to make sure these activities come in place. So people that were in the military before, very easy to structure their schedule, or somebody that's coming out of the corporate world. I would say that most people that are coming out of the corporate world have kind of gone through that like, oh shit moment. Like, yeah, I don't want to keep doing this the rest of my life. But they've also had to go through certain things like personal development as you're working up the corporate ladder. So that's extremely important, because we focus heavily on personal development, not only with the associates, but me personally and our team personally. So it's that type of mentality. Like, okay, I've gone through the associate moment as a corporate, and I really need to get out of this place now. And I'm going to take what I've learned in my corporate life and build it into a business, or someone entrepreneurial, or coming out of like a military environment. Not to say other people won't be successful, but that's tend to what I see.
Awesome. That makes a whole lot of sense. Now, for folks watching who have thought about investing in real estate, maybe read some books, maybe bought some products over the years, but never really done anything with it, what advice would you give to them?
I would say just you got to have some faith in whatever program you go with, and just start taking action. That's the difference between people that buy real estate and don't buy real estate. They've picked up the phone and they started talking to people, or they went and found a mentor or a product that they can truly believe in, and they started implementing it. So I've talked to too many people now who have spent tens of thousands of dollars on products and have not pulled the trigger on one of them. Like, you just got to eventually pull the trigger. So I would just say, just take action. And then if you need a mentor going through that process, make sure your mentor is still in the trenches, getting after it, and has proven, that his process works. Grab on their coattail.
Awesome. That is great advice for our folks who want to learn more about the way you and your family invest on terms. What is the best, where should we send them to go to learn more?
Yeah, I would go to freesrecbook.com. So that's FREESREC book, BOOK.com. You'll get our free Amazon best-selling book, Real Estate on Your Terms. And when I say free, I mean free. We're not going to ask you for your credit card. You're not going to have to pay for shipping, nothing like that. You're going to get that absolutely free. And then after you get the book, or as you go through that process, we are going to shoot out a link via email that will send you right to the webinar. We made it super easy for you. So you can go ahead right there. Or if you want to go straight to the webinar, it's smartrealestatecoach.com/webinar.
Awesome. All right. We will send them to freesrecbook.com and then send them to the webinar. We greatly appreciate it. This is Seth Green from Sharkpreneur with Zachary Beach from Smart Real Estate Coach. Zach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Seth. I appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening, and we will see you next time. Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.